Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight or today or whatever, depending on where you're watching from, was Monday Night Raw. Now, as far as tonight's Raw does go, it wasn't a bad show. It's a pretty good show. I'd say good, but not great. It did build up things towards WrestleMania, but it really didn't give us anything new for WrestleMania, just more teases on this road to WrestleMania, I guess you would say. We are, and how many days away are we? Hold on. Alexa, how many days till April 19th? We are 26 days away from WrestleMania. And so with all of that, we need 2 nights of shows, and we only have, I want to say 6 matches official. We only have, maybe it's 7. 6 matches official. Cody versus Cena. Tiffany versus Charlotte. Gunther versus Jay. The Women's World title match, which we'll learn more about that next week. Randy and Kevin. And then the triple threat, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk. We also know, and I'm not going to say it here for spoiler reasons, the IC title will be defended at WrestleMania. We assume tag titles, Women's US, Men's US. There's a rumor of a Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman last man standing match potentially at WrestleMania. Women's IC could get defended. So let's see, 6. Men's US, Women's US, tag. I could see 13, 12. 6 matches each night. But it's just, I don't know. Bank says, it was on the 19th, usually sooner than that. Yes. So the reason WrestleMania is on the weekend of the 19th and 20th, which is Easter weekend, is because it's Easter weekend. When they came up with, we want it in Vegas, and they started talking with the people in charge of booking shows and whatnot and big events in Las Vegas, they said Easter weekend's usually a down weekend for us. We want Mania on that weekend to bring people in to a normally down weekend. So that is why WrestleMania is taking place over Easter weekend, because they want a big event that can generate a lot of traffic and a lot of tourism on a typically less than average down weekend for the city of Las Vegas. So that is why Mania is A, on Easter weekend, and B, so late in April. But it's like, okay, we got 6 matches announced so far. I can think of another 5 or 6. Last year, I think we did 6 and 6 or 7 and 7. I can't 100% remember. I have to go back and look. So we'll see. We'll see how it all does work out. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, help us out over on YouTube, help us out over there. That way you get access to emotes and emojis you can use in the, well, first off, subscribe to the channel so you know when we post new videos. When we go live, we only post to the community tab. Also, remember that you can join the channel as a channel member. You get access to emotes and emojis you can use in the live chat and the comment section. You get access to all of our graphics packages and our graphics tutorials. You get access to, excuse me, you get access to our watch longs and our Q&As and much more that we are working on at this time as well. Plus, remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. Finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, and they're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're getting that brand new Assassin's Creed Shadows. Maybe you want Split Fiction that already is getting a movie made about it. That game just came out like, what, 2 weeks ago, if that? And they're already working on a movie for this game. So it's like, dang, they're working faster. Maybe you've never played Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and you want to get it on PC. Well, it's available on the Epic Game Store. And when you purchase any of those, use this code right here, PWU NLIMITED, for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Just looking to see if there's anything I've missed since Raw went off the air. Doesn't quite look like it. Let's jump in. Talk about tonight's Monday. Well, first off, got a couple things here from Esports Gaming Rules. He says John Cena taking the ROH Summer of Punk route, and is WWE trying to, quote, erase Ric Flair from WWE history thanks to Cena? Man, this road to WrestleMania is wilder than road to WrestleMania 4. So no, they're not trying to, quote unquote, erase Ric Flair. It's just their whole thing is John Cena is one of their guys. John Cena is a from the ground up our guy. Because when you really look at it, Cena didn't wrestle anywhere really than WWE. Cena started training at UPW in Southern California when he was, I guess you would say, scouted at a gym and was told, hey, you'd make a good pro wrestler, at least with your look. Would you be interested? Cena then went and started training at UPW, and the rumor has always been Cena was only at UPW for less than a month before he was scouted and signed by WWE. He then went to OVW, was under their developmental system there. And so in actuality, Cena is a from the ground up WWE guy through and through. And so it's like they called John Cena the greatest of all time. The thought process in pro wrestling is Ric Flair's probably the greatest of all time because he's got 16 world championships. Nobody has more. So that's why people see Rick as the best. But Rick is a WWE guy per se, but not a from the ground up WWE guy. Not a we made him WWE guy. More of a he was already one of the biggest names in the entire business by the time he got here kind of guy. So they want to put somebody over, and it's not erasing Rick again. It's not what it is. They want to put somebody over that they can say is one of, if not the greatest of all time, that came from them from the start, basically. They can't even say that about Hogan. You can't. Because Hogan came from the AWA. Hogan was in Rocky before he was ever in WWE. So you can't even say Hogan. You can't say Austin. You can say Rock, but you can't even say Austin. Because Austin started in world class, then went to WCW, and then eventually made his way to WWE. So when you really look at it, in all actuality, Cena is the one guy they can say that they made one of the greatest of all time from the jump. That they trained basically from the beginning. So that's all it really is. They want to put Cena over as one of the, if not the greatest of all time, and then can tout, we made him from the start. That's all it really is. It's not trying to erase Ric Flair or anything like that. And his other one is, congratulations to Earthquake and Typhoon into the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. By the way, did you hear former UFC champion Cain Velasquez is headed to jail? Yeah, I did hear about that one. That is a bummer. I mean, he did what he did. You can argue reasons of why he did what he did. We're going to get into all that here because it's very lengthy, very kind of tricky situation. But yeah, very, 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 very bad thing. I don't really know what more to say. It's like, shut a man because he said that the man was molesting a child. And yeah, it's a whole situation that I have to refresh myself on before. If I were to talk about it, I'd want to refresh myself on the entire situation and, you know, everything that happened with all the different court stuff. So yeah, I'm not one of the best to speak on it because I'm not 100% up on everything. I've kept up with it, and I've somewhat followed it since everything happened from the beginning, and I know the gist, but I'm not, I guess you say, educated enough in the entire situation to speak on it, if that makes a lot of sense. With all of that, what I can speak on is tonight's Monday Night Raw from Glasgow, Scotland. CM Punk, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyria, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio, Penta, and Braun Breaker were all shown arriving at the building. Penta and Punk got the biggest reactions from the live crowd. So we learned earlier in the day, Pat McAfee on commentary. Pat was not on the international show last week, but he did make the trek out to Scotland this week and was on commentary. We knew that because he did a show from Scotland this morning, the Pat McAfee show, where he was in the building where Raw's taking place, the OVO or whatever it's called, the OVO Hydra. And then he had, which was a shock to me, I didn't expect this one, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport in the hosting spot instead of just getting old AJ Hawk to go out to Indy. John Cena enters to a loud chorus of boos from the crowd in Scotland to open up the show. He knew the crowd was ready to do their worst because he turned the spotlight on them. They knew that he can pick them out individually and rip them to shreds. Not one was safe. Not even the clueless kid from last week, he said. His poor, pathetic face was everywhere. WWE even posted it, and the fans all loved it. The crowd loudly started chanting, "Fuck you, Cena. Fuck you, Cena." And it was censored on Netflix, so that's an interesting one. We do know that, Raw is not everywhere on Netflix. There are still some countries that have Raw on TV, so that's probably why they had to censor. Cena would then tell them the truth. Well, the best idea the fans had was to use profanity. They memed defenseless kids getting destroyed. So he didn't need to signal out one individual or anyone tonight because they were all horrible people for doing what they did to the kid, putting a spotlight on him in a bad way. Instead, they would all pay for the abuse that they've put him through. He listened to their lies and their noise for the last 25 years. He didn't waste time being mean like them. He pays attention. The crowd chants, "Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up." He said that he has been learning from the fans and testing them all this time. They told him everything about themselves, but they didn't know anything real about him. Their lives are sad. He said, "This is the best you guys have? Really?" But they have been nothing. Nothing to him. Nothing more than an experiment. Rats in a cage. Pick out any moment of his career, and he can tell them what he learned from it. When he bled, they thought he was tough. When he spoke, they were inspired. When he was edgy, they are excited. When he was vanilla, they were bored. When he spoke in rhythmic tones, they said, quote, "What? What?" They would always tell him everything about themselves because they wanted so desperately to matter and be loved by John. The most important thing that they told him was in April of 2005 when he gave them the WWE Spinner Championship. They ate him alive for it. He turned their belt into nothing more than a toy, and they didn't like it because the championship is not a toy. He disrespected their tradition. That was the biggest mistake they ever made. They told him what meant most to them, the championship. And now that he knows that, he's going to ruin that. He's going to ruin wrestling for every single fan, wrestler, and everyone in between. At WrestleMania, he is going to make history by winning his 17th championship. He would force them to forget about the fun machine Ric Flair. And they would forever say the name John Cena. Even worse, he would win the title, the center of everything the center of everything that every superstar in this business wants, every fan loves to see. And he'll retire it with him. He said, I will take it home with me. And I'm sitting here going, CM Punk 2011? Money in the Bank? Take it home with me? Okay. Put it in your fridge like Punk did as well. He said he was leaving them to make a brand new toy belt because the real one was coming home with him. Quote, I will be the last real champion in WWE. Revenge is best served cold, and I pay you back by ripping your heart out and forcing you to watch as I walk away with your memories, with your traditions, and your dreams. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. Then out comes the current world champion, WWE Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes. Rhodes makes his way out to the ring as the crowd sings his song very loudly. Rhodes told Cena that he couldn't take the belt away from the fans without taking it from him first. Rhodes could see that Cena was actually being sincere. Cena was angry and dangerous, but he made one massive mistake. The mistake was not that Cena hit him with the belt in Toronto. It was saying what he just said to these fans. Rhodes said that Cena should know how hard he fought to hold this belt. Just one time. Cena thought the timeline of professional wrestling hung in the balance because of his vanity. Rhodes laid the belt down and told Cena that he could try to take it right now if he wants. And the crowd popped, thinking they're going to get John Cena and Cody Rhodes tonight. Nah. Cena acted for a moment like he might fight Rhodes, might try to take the title, but then he gets out of the ring and leaves. Rhodes told Cena that this psychotic need to take the belt did not outweigh the fans and him, need to keep it. The champ was standing in the middle of the ring while Cena was walking away empty-handed. That is how Cena would walk away at WrestleMania. He said, the former champ walks away, but the real current champ is right here in the ring. And that is how it will be when you walk away from WWE. Cena then looks like he's going to turn around and come back to the ring, and then he says, screw it, and leaves. So yeah, good opening segment. Again, not much different from last week opening segment. So I wish it was a little different. I guess they gave us a little more. Cena saying, I'm going to take the title, and I'm going to take it away from you guys. Who are you, John Moxley? You going to lock it in a briefcase too? Or he's going to put it at home and then come back without it? It ain't no different. He thinks he's John Moxley and CM Punk. Put it in your fridge and then come back without it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Corey says, why would they censor curse words on Netflix? Because, as I just stated, Raw is not everywhere on Netflix. About 80% of the homes that get Monday Night Raw are Netflix. Another 20-ish%, certain countries that don't have Netflix, don't have Raw on Netflix, and so they have to censor for their television. It's one feed. It's not like they have a Netflix feed and then another feed going out somewhere else. I mean, they kind of do, but they don't. With Netflix, that's different. Anyways, I could talk on that for days. But regardless, that's why they still have to censor things on Netflix. Well, because they're not only just on Netflix. You might think they are, but they're not. Because not every country has Netflix. So we get a video package highlighting tonight's main event, Braun Breaker versus Penta, with the WWE Intercontinental Championship on the line. And then, and I know what you're going to say once I say this. Oh, well, Tim, they never told us who to expect, so your expectations were higher than they should have been. We had Jey Uso and a mystery partner against A-Town Down Under. Jey comes out for this match. His music keeps playing. They say, who's his mystery partner going to be? And then Jimmy Uso, his brother, just appears out of nowhere. Just appears. Jay's music still playing. And it's just the Usos against A-Town Down Under. Like, it could have been anybody else. Nothing against Jimmy. But to put mystery partner on this and tease it all week without eventually saying something or giving any hints or clues or nothing, making us think, oh, it could be anybody, and then it just be Jimmy. A little bit of a letdown. Jimmy, it being Jimmy, a little bit of a letdown. So, now granted, I saw people online going, should have been Joe Hendry. They're in Scotland. Okay. Could have been. Should have been. Cool. I saw other people. I even predicted if he's cleared, should have been Dragunov. Would have been a cool one. Yeah, whatever. So, yeah. Corey. No. You don't understand. Wow. I just tried to educate you and you're still coming off sounding, no offense, uneducated. I literally just told you why they have to censor. And you still don't get it? I literally told you because there's one feed of this show being recorded and broadcasted, and not everywhere in the world is Netflix. Not everywhere in the world can be uncensored. And so they have to censor. For you to call that bullshit tells me either you're not listening properly or you're just uneducated on different cultures and different countries and what it means to be on regular TV compared to streaming. I'll read his comment. He says, that's such bullshit. Everybody dat. Well, first off, you already don't dat. It's that, not dat. Has Netflix, should have da freedom to her profanity across networks because everybody can say what they want to say. Again, you're not understanding the situation WWE is in. Wow. Again, they're not just on Netflix. Netflix is the main home of Raw, but not the only home of Raw worldwide. So you have to suffice all of your broadcast partners. You can't uncensor the curse words for Netflix and then it be uncensored for another country and that country get in trouble or that network get in trouble. You gonna pay the fines for having curse words on television? I don't think so. That's just like look, perfect fucking example. In the United States, the CW has NXT. Everywhere else has Netflix. So are you telling me that they should not censor curse words on the CW because everywhere else in the world has it on Netflix? Answer me that one. Answer me that one. Should they not censor NXT on the CW, a broadcast network at that, just because every other country gets NXT on Netflix? Think about that one, bub. It's the same thing. The exact same thing. Or SmackDown on the USA Network. Everywhere else gets it on Netflix, but we here in America get it on the USA Network. So it's still got to have censors. Still got to have bleeped curse words for the USA Network. Even though every other country's got Netflix. Think about it. No different. Isn't TNT Sports still has Raw televised in the UK? Excuse me. Whoa, in the UK? No. UK is Netflix. Let me see something really fast. Raw not. Let me see. Can we figure this out real fast? What countries? South Africa. It's not available on Netflix. So that's one. In South Africa, without a VPN, it's not available on Netflix. And that's what I'm seeing right now. Yeah. Johannesburg, South Africa is one. A couple other countries in South Africa as well. So there you go. There you go. But with that, let's move forward. Esports Gaming Rules says, can't believe Chad Gable is portraying a lucha star from the Gulf of America to heat up the feud with the LWO. So is WWE going political with Trumpism's lucha star? No, it's not a Trump thing. It's more of making fun of people calling it the Gulf of America. It's more of a joke against it than being political. That's all it really is. There's nothing political about it. I mean, you want to get technical, though, and say, hold on. Pull up Google Maps really fast. Let's do it on my phone. It'll be quicker. Deep. Zoom out and zoom out. Whoa, what did I just do? Why can't I all of a sudden find it? Oh, I zoomed in. Wrong spot. Hold on. Oh, I flipped it. That's what happened. If you go on Google Maps, you're saying Google Maps is now political? See if this will focus. You guys can read that. Probably can't. It's probably too bright. Let's see. Focus. Gulf of America on Google Maps. Gulf of America on Google Maps. I mean, you think Google's getting political? I don't think so. I don't know. Regardless, though. As far as this match does go, Jay initially entered alone, but his brother came out with him. And Michael Cole claimed, wait, look who's here. Jay's brother. He didn't even actually say Jimmy. So Cole said this is the first time the Usos have actually teamed in a proper tag team match in over a year and a half when they beat Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. Was that Money in the Bank, I want to say? Baytown Down Under got the heat on Jimmy when Theory made a blind tag and clocked him with a running forearm. After a break, Waller rolled into the ring and into a Samoan drop by Jimmy. Cole somehow thought that was a sling blade by Waller. What the fuck, Michael Cole? Jay tagged in, but A-Town Down Under teamed up against him. Jimmy tagged back in, and they hit Waller with an alley-oop. Jimmy hoisted up Waller into a spear by Jay before the Usos hit Theory with a 1D and pinned him to pick up the victory. Match went 9 minutes, not much really to it. It was more like A-Town Down Under looked really good, then they would get taken down. And then they'd shine again, look really good, and then they get taken down, and then eventually they got beat. So, yeah. Very, very cool. LT Genesis says, are you streaming WrestleMania Las Vegas in simple standard? What are you talking about? My streaming? I'm gonna watch it on Peacock. If you're asking if I'm gonna show it here on the channel, legally I can't. That'd get my entire channel taken down. So Gunther then knocked Jimmy off the top rope as he was celebrating. Jay super kicked Gunther and sent him up for a spear, but he literally tripped and fell. He went for the spear anyways, and Gunther tackled him down. Gunther hammered away with some elbows, but Jimmy ran him off with a steel chair. I don't know if the slip spot was on purpose or not. It didn't look like it, so that wasn't a good one there, Jim, or Jay. There's a video telling us about the history of El Grande Americo, who hails from the Gulf of America. And yeah, this was okay, interesting. It's all comedy and funny. Ha ha, he he, ho ho. I don't know where this is leading to in the end. I have no idea what the end game is here, though. That's my big thing. It's like, what the fuck is this leading to? Dragon Lee Rey Mysterio told Adam Pearce that the person in the video is clearly Chad Gable. And then they used AI and this, that, and so forth. But Gable then shows up and he's all coughing. I can't do my match tonight. And Adam Pearce is like, well, what's wrong? He's like, I'm sick. I got a doctor's note. Pearce looks at it and goes, oh, shit. Yeah, it's a legit doctor's note. Gable's not cleared to compete tonight. Gable goes, but I know somebody that can take on Dragon Lee. El Grande Americo. Dragon Lee's like, you know what? Screw it. I accept. Ray looked at Gable and was like, You know, you're a real jackass. I thought that was funny as hell. Just the way Ray delivered it. You're a real jackass. I liked it. So that sets up Dragon Lee versus El Grande Americo later on tonight. They didn't tell us some guy from a Netflix show called Baby Reindeer was in attendance. Don't know who the guy is. And I think I've seen like a clip or preview video of the show. Never seen Baby Reindeer. I don't even know what the show's about. I think I've seen a clip where it's like a human with antlers or something. Am I wrong? Am I right? What are we doing here? I don't even know. Then we had an 8.5-minute match. It was Lyra Valkyria defending the Women's Intercontinental Championship against Raquel Rodriguez. Match was okay. Wasn't anything great. Just a standard Raw match. I wouldn't even say it was decent for a title match. It was just a match. The two worked all right together. 8.5 minutes, and I got like a paragraph of notes. That's how much really happened in this match. So Rodriguez booted Valkyria out of midair to take control a minute or so in before we go to a break. She hit a jackhammer at one point following the break and got a 2 off of it. Valkyria countered a spear into a DDT, but Morgan placed Raquel's foot on the ropes to break the cover. Valkyria then dropkicked Morgan moments later and countered the Tohana bomb into a victory roll. Like the champ's not even winning with a finish. Granted, I get it. She probably can't get Raquel up for the Nightwing. Big girl, small girl. Nope. That's why they say pick a finish that you can do to anybody. I guess she picked one she could do to just about anybody. So yeah, I'd be interested to see her try. I don't think she can though. Raquel's just way too much bigger height-wise to do that Nightwing too. But she rolls her up, victory roll, pins her 1, 2, 3, and retains the Intercontinental Championship. Morgan and Raquel then attack Valkyria afterwards, and Bayley comes out to make the save. We had seen Bayley earlier in the night talking to Lyra backstage. Bayley helps clear the ring. She picks up and gives the IC title to Lyra, and the two pose together. It was okay. Crowd liked Lyra. Cool. The New Day. They cut a promo during the commercial. They ran down the locals before proclaiming that they would win tag team titles at WrestleMania. We then got a video package highlighting Triple H beating The Rock at SummerSlam 1998 in a ladder match with the IC title on the line. This is all just meant to hype up Triple H going into the Hall of Fame. So Jey Uso was sitting in a stairwell all by himself. He was kind of sulking when Jimmy appears. Jimmy was like, "Hey, what's been going on the last couple of weeks? You ain't the same as, you've been." He said he could see Jay was just not in the right headspace. He was in his own head. Jay had dies perfectly for 15 years. But last week, he messed it all up and became a meme and a joke online. Then he went out there tonight and slipped. And he just kept messing up. And he literally told Jay, "You can't beat Gunther." And Jay gets all pissed off. He's like, "What do you mean I can't beat Gunther?" He's like, No. This version of you can't beat Gunther. I know you can, but not if you keep going this way. Not if you keep acting and doing things like this. He's like, you got to get out of your own head, because I know that when the main event, Jey Uso, was really on, he could beat Gunther and become world champion. So Jimmy's all trying to hype up his brother and this and that. And he's like, "You're no longer the right-hand man. You're the main event. You're going to be the champion." Da-da-da. And then Jimmy just gets up, walks around the corner, and boom, there's Gunther. He's like, "Hey, Gunther, you think you're all bad and tough and blah, blah, blah? Well, how about me and you next week? One-on-one." Gunther said, "Sure," and suggested, "Don't slip or fall like your brother." Jimmy then slapped him in the face. Gunther got a little mad, but also seemed to like it. Like, oh, yeah, this brother's got some fire. So, yeah, next week on Raw, it will be Jimmy Uso versus Gunther in a non-title match. So next up, Adam Pearce comes down to the ring. He's got a contract in hand. He said, "Rhea, She signed the contract last week, but it means nothing. Her signature on this contract literally means nothing because the contract had her name nowhere on it. So her name does not stand void or valid. He's like, so at WrestleMania, it will be a singles match. The crowd boos. Pierce then said, you know, Rhea, she lost the title a couple weeks ago. I've been trying to get her a rematch. You know, former champion has a rematch clause. But for some reason, she won't take it. Bianca won the Elimination Chamber. She earned a right to challenge for the title at WrestleMania. She's got it. But Rhea, on the other hand, meanwhile, only wants the title match on her terms. He then goes, but I have an announcement to make. I have an idea to square this all away. And out comes Io Sky. Io comes down to the ring. She goes, I don't care about any of this. I just want to defend the title. Give it to all of them. WrestleMania, whatever. And Bianca comes down and goes, no, girl. Io, it's you and me. I earned the right to face you at WrestleMania. Rhea didn't. Rhea then comes out and says, quote, honestly, I don't give a damn about WrestleMania. I just want my rematch. And Pierce goes, Rhea, I've been trying to make this rematch for weeks now. And now you just won it? Okay, here's the next week. You versus Io. Title on the line. The winner will then move on to defend the title against Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. All these women start brawling, fighting, going at each other. At one point, Io runs at Bianca from the corner. Bianca hoists her up and lifts her and throws her up over her head. She then jumps down, grabs Rhea by the head and drops her with a DDT. And yeah, chaos ensues. Ripley and Belair are arguing. Sky wiped out Ripley, like I said, with a DDT. The crowd booed as Belair set up Sky for a KOD. Sky avoided it and gave Ripley a Hurricane Rana out of the ring. However, Belair gave Sky a KOD to send her out of the ring and onto Ripley. Belair then stood tall with the belt. So there we go. Just another week of the same thing basically we got last week. But we know that title match next week that's going to end in bullshit. And we'll know why here in a second. So we go to the back and Dom approaches Penta. Before Penta could say anything, Dom told him, hey, think about my offer. You and the Judgment Day. We help you walk away with the IC title later tonight. So go to Adam Pearce's office. And the New Day walk in. Hey, Pierce. It's like, what? He's all pissed as fuck. They're like, we want a title shot at WrestleMania. And this is right after we just saw a 30-second War Raiders video. They're like, we want a title shot at WrestleMania. Like, no. They're like, what? What? Huh? He goes, of all nights, you think you should come in here and tell me what to give you? No. If you've been watching this show and paying attention, you know tonight's not the night. And they get all mad and they walk off. Bianca then walks in. And she's like, so Pierce, what are we doing about WrestleMania? And I go, what? Huh? Were you not just in the ring when you made that big ass fucking announcement, Bianca? Pierce looks at her and goes, title match. Rematch next week. Io versus Rhea. The winner defends against you at WrestleMania. And how about this? I'm making you the special guest referee. She's like, I don't know how to be a referee. I don't know anything about being a referee. He goes, well, you got a week. Figure it out. And I'm like, what the shit is this bullshit? This match is going to end in crap, in tomfoolery, chicanery. It's going to be the triple threat. All of this telling us it's not the triple threat, just to get to the triple threat. Okay, cool, whatever. So I'm still wholeheartedly under the belief that it's Io defending against Rhea and Bianca. Now, it could be Rhea defending against Io and Bianca. Rhea could maybe win the title back next week. I don't see it happening, but I do see these 3 women triple threat. Because you ain't leaving any of them out. You just aren't. Because it's like, say EO does win. Rhea not on Mania? Yeah, okay. That's a laugh riot. So then we got a 9-minute match. El Grande Americo versus Dragon Lee. They worked well together-ish. Wasn't bad. So Gable hit Dragon Lee with an exploder off the apron ahead of a break. They exchanged chops after the break until Dragon Lee hit a snap German suplex and a super kick. Dragon Lee sprinted at who we assume is Chad Gable. Oh, I'm going to call him so. And Gable launched him with the overhead suplex into the corner. The crowd starts doing the Olay chant. Dragon Lee avoided a moonsault and hit a Liger bomb for a 2. With Gable dangling upside down in the corner, Dragon Lee set it for a double foot stomp, but Gable sat up and ripped off the mask of Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee then frantically tried to cover his face. Gable put him in an ankle lock, and Michael Cole goes, see, ankle lock. That's got to be Chad Gable. The last person we saw use an ankle lock was Chad Gable. And then before that, Kurt Angle. And Cole goes, and me at WrestleMania. And Pat goes, or Cole, he's just a real big Ken Shamrock fan. I laughed at that one. That's what I said, Fonzie. El Grande. Did I say it wrong? It's El Grande Americo. Anyways, he wasn't letting go of the hold. Dragon Lee couldn't uncover his face. He's like, got one hand covering his face. The other hand's like, ah! And then eventually he's like, I can't. I got to give up. I can't. My face is going to get exposed. So there we go. Dragon Lee taps out to the ankle lock. It was just an okay match. It was fun. Gable doing the stuff and commentary going, look, that's a Gable move. Oh, look, another Gable move. So, or like Michael Cole would be like, oh, moonsault. Chad Gable does moonsaults. And Pat would be like, but that's also a lucha move, Cole. So, yeah, we'll see where this leads to, but I don't know. Eventually, what? They're just going to unmask him and it's been Gable this whole time. I mean, the only thing I can see is this leads to a Rey Mysterio Gable match at Mania, or Rey Mysterio versus the Masked Man at Mania with mask versus mask or something. I don't know. I'm saying it wrong. It's Americano, not Americo. I could have swore they said Americo. Hold on. Oh, it is Americano. Okay, I was wrong. I don't know. I thought I kept hearing him say Americo. Okay, good to know. Good to know. We then get a recap of everything that happened on SmackDown with CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, and out comes CM Punk to a massive reaction from the live crowd. He said he wasn't in a good mood, but it was hard to be pissed off when you enter to a reaction like that. He said he's tired, jet lagged. He hasn't slept well in the last couple of days, thanks mostly to uncertainty around his road to WrestleMania. And I go, wait, what? We already know your match. He says, yeah, I have a match at WrestleMania, quote, but what I want, I'm not getting, or am I? Teasing that he wants that main event of WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure the Triple Threat's Mania Night 1 main event. He says he wanted to win the Rumble, and he didn't. He wanted to win the Chamber, and he didn't. But the more things change, the more things stay the same. Quote, I work with children. And I'm like, oh, going back to your AEW line there. He said Seth Rollins was the world champ of being a piss baby. Roman Reigns, well, screwed him at the Chamber. For Rollins and Reigns? Oh, no. I read that wrong. Well, yeah, no. Rollins screwed him in the Chamber. That's what it was. For Rollins and Reigns, it was clearly personal. But for him, it was just business. Two men who stood in his way of getting what he wanted. Well, they got to go. Rollins has been crying since Punk returned because the shadow he cast over him belittled everything Rollins was about. Reigns seemed to be taking it personally because he realized his wise man wasn't just his wise man. He said it would be business for Punk this Friday on SmackDown when they have a contract signing to make their triple threat match official. Some people in the crowd booed. Well, I don't know what they expected, that they were getting more tonight. I don't know. Punk then acknowledges it, going, yeah, I know you want some more tonight from us, but we'll do it on SmackDown. He wanted his hands on that contract to see if the match would get him one step closer to what he wanted, or if it's just another rug from the powers that be pulled out from under him. Now, he's not saying what he wants, but we know he wants to main event WrestleMania. He don't care about title. He don't care about whatnot, who the opponent is, as long as it's in the main event. Punk reminds Rollins and Reigns that they had never beaten him without the other's help. Punk also said, quote, I brought you into this business. I cannot wait to be the man who takes you both out of it. Punk called himself the best in the world and dropped the mic. As far as the line of I brought you into this business, technically he brought him to the main roster. If you remember, when the Shield first debuted on the main roster, they debuted helping CM Punk. So that's what he meant by I brought you into this business. I brought you to the main roster of WWE. I needed help. I needed guys to help me. And you two were two of the three. Now, granted, I really hope and wish and think it would be awesome if they bring up the fact that Roman was not Punk's choice. Punk can be like, hey, 3 of you guys came and helped me that night. 1 of you I didn't even want. I wanted it to be somebody else. But it's always the powers that be that are pulling the rug out from under me and making decisions that I don't want. So that would be great because he's doing the powers that be thing. Well, the powers that be are the ones that picked Roman instead of Chris Hero. Just saying. Cole also reminded us of this, that Punk is the one that brought the Shield to WWE, the main roster. So we got a couple things, 4 things is that, announced for next week's Monday Night Raw in, I want to say, London. Logan Paul's calling out AJ Styles. Gunther vs. Jey Uso in a non-title match. The Women's World Championship will be on the line when Io Sky defends against Rhea Ripley with Bianca Belair as the referee. And Cody and Cena, once again, are coming face-to-face. Come on, give us something different. How can this be different than what we got tonight or last week? We go outside of the building. Kathy Kelly interviews Braun Breaker. She's like, hey, you got Penta tonight. You know, Judgment Day are trying to court Penta. You think that's going to make a difference in your match? You think they're going to come down and help him in your match? And Braun's just like, you know, Kathy, that's Penta's business, whether he wants to join the Judgment Day or not. I'm just here to defend my title and walk out still the champion. And that's what I'm going to do. Remain the champion with the dogs barking in Glasgow. And I'm just like, this is actually perfect. This was literally the perfect response by Braun Breaker. Hey, I'm going to go out there and defend my title no matter what's against me. If Penta joins Judgment Day, that ain't on me. I don't give a damn. I'm just going to defend my title and walk out the champion. Like, he couldn't have said anything more and anything more better. Contract signing on SmackDown, Messi. So speaking of the Intercontinental title on the line, Braun Breaker defending against Penta. Strong match until, well, the shitty finish. I didn't even get a time for it, to be completely honest. I'm going to go say my eyes are watering all of a sudden. As far as this match does go, Penta used the Hurricane Rana, send Braun into the ropes early on to set up the next spot. Braun was actually supposed to be on the other side of the ring, so he literally stumbles around, runs to the other side of the ring, and then they're set. Penta posed for a while. You can kind of see like Braun stumbling around to get in spot. It was kind of weird, but whatever. This led to Braun hitting a leaping clothesline off the apron and over the announce table. Dom and Carlito then kind of wandered around and out during the break. Braun and Penta traded strikes until Penta hit a super kick, a bulldog, and a backstabber for a 2. Braun then blocked the Canadian Destroyer, or a Mexican Destroyer as they call it, and hit a military press gutbuster for a 2. Penta then hit a super kick and an enziguri and used a Hurricane Rana to yank Braun off the middle rope. Penta then followed this up with a flip dive and a Canadian Destroyer for a 2. Braun followed this later with a Frankensteiner that got him a very close near fall. And let's get the poll going really fast on Twitch. What did you think of Raw? I liked it. It was all right. I didn't like it. All right, the poll is live on Twitch if you are watching. View Okay, there we go. At one point, Braun set it for a spear, but Dom distracted the referee. Carlito tried to interfere. Braun pulled him into the ring and speared him. Dom chop blocked Braun in front of the ref, causing a disqualification. Match is over. Braun went after Dom, but Finn would come out and attack with a chair. Balor seemed like he was pissed with Dom, but then handed Dom the chair and said, "Go for it." Dom then hit Braun with the chair over multiple times before handing the chair over to Penta, going, "Hey, you want a shot? Go for it, bud." He's yelling at him in Spanish. "Come on, do it, do it, do it," I think is what he's saying. He's kind of gesturing like "do it," so I think that's what he's saying. He was yelling something in Spanish. And then instead, basically get the RVD spot. He throws the chair back in Dom's face. Dom grabs it. Boom, super kick to the chair to the face of Dom. So Finn then attacks Penta. They're kind of going at it. And Balor decks Penta. Hit Braun with the chair. Balor laid out Penta with the coup de grace. Raw then ends with Balor, Dom, and Carlito, the Judgment Day, standing tall over Braun Breaker and Penta. Now, if you don't want to be spoiled, mute the stream for about less than 60 seconds. We're going to go into spoiler territory for WrestleMania. If you don't want to be spoiled, I'm going to put this up here. Oh, this way. I'll put this right here. Say spoiler alert. Mute the stream really fast. And that way, once this goes away, you'll know we're not talking spoilers anymore. But as far as what this is leading to, what this main event is leading to for WrestleMania, Fightful writes the following. WrestleMania season is upon us, and the Intercontinental title scene is heating up. And it appears to announce that Penta vs. Braun Breaker for the March 24 episode of Raw, a match that many expected to happen in Mania. Based on the plans as of this week, we're told it's not far off. The working plan, as of last week, and Balor versus Breaker, was actually to have the title featured in a four-way, with Braun Breaker defending against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. Breaker faced Balor, Penta challenged Breaker, Dominic tried to get Penta to join the Judgment Day, and also glared at the title during the Balor Breaker match. So there we go. The rumor right now is that it will be a four-way with Braun Breaker, Penta, Dom, and Finn at WrestleMania. Spoilers done. No more spoiler talk. We're good. We're golden. But with all that, that was Monday Night Raw. Not a bad show. Not a great show either. Kind of dragged in the middle. I like SmackDown last week. Dragged in the middle. But at least it was 30 minutes 30 minutes shorter than last week's SmackDown. But with all that, you know what I thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of the show. Stalking, it's at the top of the chat. Polls are always at the top of the chat. 4 people have already voted. So let's refresh these polls really fast. Also, condolences to the Carter family. Dixie Carter's mother passed away. I want to say Janice Carter was her name. As far as the polls do go, looking at the Threads poll here, 81% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. No, that's the YouTube community poll. Threads poll, 44% liked it, 44% thought it was all right, and 11% didn't. Looking at the X poll, 50% liked the show, 38% thought it was just all right, and 11% didn't like it. Looking at the live poll, 77% liked the show, 19% thought it was just all right, and 4% didn't like the show. And finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked tonight's Raw. So with that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we'll be back live on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.